Yeah, my first name is Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N. My last name is Spicher, S-P-I-C-H-E-R.
Right. And what is your, well, I can see where your rank is. So what is your unit and your position within the unit?
I work at Combat Logistics Regiment 45 as the Future Operations Officer.
And with regard to strategic mobility exercise, what are you, sir?
Here at Strategic Mobility Exercise, I am the Landing Force Support Party Officer in charge. So I'm a logistics officer, and this is really our bread and butter. Pre-positioning forces are really how the Marine Corps likes to sea base and execute our expeditionary mission by pre-positioning equipment in order to rapidly respond to anything around the world. So as a logistics officer, I'm crucial in the planning and execution of marshaling and staging this equipment, maintaining it, and accounting for it. There were no issues working with the Norwegians themselves. Any rail operations group operation has unique challenges based on the equipment set there. The rail cars are older than the ones we have in the States. The ramp is not one we've ever seen before. The corners were tight. So each one's unique. Working with the Norwegians was great though. They were extremely flexible. They were willing to work with us. They were very helpful, knowledgeable too. And I think this morning proved that it was success all around. The terrain didn't have much influence on it. We're very familiar with the terrain here in Norway, and the weather is always unpredictable. Fortunately, this last week we've been fortunate to have good weather. As you can see right now, it's kind of snowing, but that hasn't impacted anything, which is good because we're ahead of schedule. So if we had significant weather delays, say in the winter, we would still have time within our timelines to meet the mission. The whole purpose of this is to make sure that our equipment set here is tailored to the capability sets needed by the operating forces. So those are always in flux. It depends on the mission, it depends on the scenario, it depends on a lot of other factors. And this exercise here is crucial to provide data to Headquarters Marine Corps and Blunt Island Command about how best to tailor the equipment sets so that we can respond. It goes all the way down to the smallest items such as water cans we've been discussing this week to ensure that the Marines have what they need when something were to happen and we'd have to actually use this equipment. One, they have the same work ethic that we do. They work very hard. They're very capable and competent. They are always on time, and I think they're very mission focused, just like Marines are. So we don't always speak the same language, though most Norwegians speak English. We are always on the same page when it comes to operations, so it's made it very easy to get things done and to shift focus when we need to if something's changed. I think it plays a big role in pre-positioning programs. We have numerous different types of pre-positioning programs. This one is land-based, like you can see, but the equipment is used much more often than our other ones. So it's important that as the equipment turns over, we, like I said, tailor the equipment set to what we need out in the operating forces. It's also important because we're strategically located. So Marine Corps pre-positioning programs Norway is a crucial asset here out in Eastern Europe and the Scandinavian region for various training exercises with our NATO partners as well as other contingencies. For a no-notice exercise, obviously a condensed and rapid amount of planning. Fortunately for us, we were able to see kind of behind the scenes of the exercise beforehand, so we were able to pre-plan, but my philosophy was to make sure we were keeping it as no notice as possible. So this kind of marshaling and assembling operation is at the bare minimum, it's standard operations we do every day in the Marine Corps. It's just with an equipment set we're not familiar with right away. It's with units that we don't always work with. At Combat Logistics Regiment 45, we don't have tank operators. We don't have LAV operators. So incorporating all these specific jobs into our unit here is important. And it gets the Marines great experience on equipment they don't always see. And that's extremely important because in an actual contingency, they would have to know what that equipment was, how to move it, how to marshal it, what its requirements were for space, fuel, all that. So it got the Marines great training. It got us integrated both with the Norwegian partners, active and reserve Marines. All across the board, it's about integration.